that it emulsifies. It's alcohol-free because alcohol burns. That's why they took it out and put these new cooling sensates in for real refreshment to go with that great scent. It's proof.
9-42, the Saints all-time winningest coach. And then Jack Pardee, who heads into his 4th year, has taken the Oilers to the playoffs in each of the first 3 years. The Oilers won the toss. They will receive. And one of the fine kickers in the game, Morton Anderson, will tee it up for the Saints. Gary Brown, number 33, goes back deep. He is joined by Willie Drury. So the 1993 regular season ready as Morton Anderson, coming off of arthroscopic surgery on his knee in the offseason, comes into this game. He's hit 20 straight field goals. We're going to be underway. Morton Anderson. Line drive. Brown is going to go into the end zone for the touchback, and they will start from the 20-yard line. Warren Moon will be coming out to run the team at quarterback, the #1 rated quarterback in the AFC last year. He went to his 5th straight Pro Bowl, one of the best ever to play this game. 36 years old. He'll be 37 in November. And Pat, as we mentioned, this could be his last chance to win it all.
Yeah, he was very upfront with that yesterday, saying, hey, their owner, Bud Adams, has said, hey, if they don't win the Super Bowl this year because of the salary cap, this team is going to be broken up.
Moon and the run and shoot. Jeffries makes the catch for a first down as he brings it out to the 32. A 13-yard pickup. Sam Mills made the stop. Jeffries, who had 90 catches a year ago. He has Slaughter, Gibbons, and Duncan joining him in that 4 wide receiver set. They've made a change up front. Matthews was playing offensive tackle. They moved the All-Pro back to center. In motion. Moon on a first down, far side. Catch is made, and we have another Houston first down by Curtis Duncan, who goes out of bounds at the 45-yard line. So 2 passes and 2 first downs. So to face this run and shoot, they're going to go to their dime package, which means they'll have up front 4 men. Sam Mills will be the only linebacker roving around, and 6 defensive backs to try to stop the #1 passing attack in the National Football League. For that matter, the #1 passing attack in the NFL the last 3 years. This time, Ernest Gibbons goes in motion. Lorenzo White off the right side. He takes it to the 49-yard line. A gain of 4. It'll bring up 2nd down and 6.
You know, the thing about the run and shoot is that it puts you in a very awkward position from the very first play. And it forces you, as you mentioned, to use 5 and 6 defensive backs. Now, by definition, those guys aren't good enough to be starters. So you don't have your 11 best players on the field at the same time when you're playing against the run and shoot.
Kevin Gilbride, the offensive coordinator. 2nd down and 7 now for Houston. Moon's got time. Over the middle. Jeffries broke it up beautifully. Excellent play that time was Toy Cook, who went flying through the air, and he's hurt on the play. He led the Saints in interceptions last season with 6, and he made a remarkable play keeping that ball from being completed. Former Stanford standout both in football and baseball. And boy, he hit the turf hard when he extended himself. That ball was on target, but Cook was able to bat it away. So we look over the injury of Toy Cook. We're going to take a break. No score, just underway. First quarter play.
The NFL on TNT is brought to you by Coors Light, the crisp-tasting beer that's mountains above the rest. Remember to reach for the silver bullet when there's no room for filling up. Coors Light, it's the right beer now. By Holiday Inn. Stay with someone you know. Call 1-800-HOLIDAY or your travel agent for reservations. And by Logo Athletic, authentic team apparel.
This is hot. This is cold. This is a silver bullet summer. This is all you need to know.
I was born in a small town.
That's where my customers
are. Every day, important business takes place in towns all across the country. And every day, we're a part of it. We're in hundreds of towns like Opelika, Walnut, Hope.
The Northwest
Southeast
is my territory.
My territory.
Who would know better than Holiday Inn how to make your small town and big town meetings a big success?
Warm.
Welcoming.
Just like the town I was born
Just
in.
like the town I was born in.
Holiday Inn. Stay with someone you know who really knows you.
Well, it was the left knee of Toy Cook that was injured. Now you're going to see on this replay that these defensive backs don't wear many pads, and his knee pad is up above his knee, his left knee as it hits the ground. You'll see no knee pad covering the knee, and that's moving out with an injury holding that left knee.
Cedric Mack comes in to replace him, the former Phoenix Cardinal, as they look over Toy Cook. Moon 2 of 3 now for 26 yards. Third down. The blitz coming, they pick it up, and they have another first down as a catch made by Jeffries inside the 40, a gain of 13.
You're right. They've got a terrific pickup there by Bruce Matthews, the center. The center, Bruce Matthews, did a great job of coming out and really blocking the blitzer from the outside. Center here, he's going to come out here. This guy comes in. Bruce Matthews is there to give Warren Moon the chance to make the play. Now that's the Saints' dilemma, is to try to put enough pressure on Warren Moon without playing a lot of man-for-man defense.
That is the third 13-yard completion for Moon on this drive. Lorenzo White, 222 pounds, and he is very close to another first down as he rambles inside the 30. White played only one preseason game as he had a contract holdout. They were wondering if he was ready to go into the regular season. He looks good early.
Well, he looks good because he's running, I think, behind one of the great offensive lines in the National Football League. It was Munchak, the left guard, who cleared the way. So did Donnelly, did his job. Matthews on the inside. I mean, that offensive line does a great job of protecting Moon, but opening up some holes there for White as well.
Second and a yard to go. White will get the first down. The former Michigan State standout as he takes it to the 26-yard line. And White last year really blossomed. He gained over 1,200 yards and caught 57 passes. And, Pat, that's one of the things that concerns the Saints, his ability on screens to catch the ball.
They're a great screen team, but, you know, in spite of all the rushing, Gary, in spite of all the receptions, I think he and Marcus Allen are the best pass-blocking backs in the league. I mean, I think Warren Moon really appreciates him most as a pass blocker.
7:05 to go, first quarter. On the first down, the delayed handoff to White inside the 25. Nice spin move as he's inside the 20. Keith Taylor coming up to make the stop, and so you get those 6 DBs back there, and then you run right at them.
Yeah, and that's exactly what they're doing. You're going to see there's 4 defensive linemen here and just 1 linebacker. Now all these guys go here, and when that happens, they just run the little draw play. I mean, everybody's got a helmet on, every defender. And if it wasn't for Sam Mills tripping them up, that would have gained another 8-10 yards.
Second and 3, 9th play of the drive coming up. Moon with good protection. Webster Slaughter makes the move at the 10, and they have a first and goal there. Slaughter has been battling back from a groin problem, missed the first 3 preseason games, but had 8 catches in the last preseason outing. 10-yard pickup on the play.
Okay, the key to this thing was the blitz pickup by Lorenzo White, number 44. We were just talking about the way he can pass block. Now there's Atkins, the free safety, trying to get an early shot on Moon. He's picked up by Lorenzo White and Munchak. That leads the completion to Slaughter. So I mean, when you have 5 big old offensive linemen keeping defensive linemen away, and if then anybody gets through, you got good old Lorenzo White there to chip them off.
First and goal. White diving for the 5. Remember now, this drive started from the 20. They are at the 6-yard line now.
Yeah, and this is where the New Orleans Saints defense has to really make something happen. This cannot be a high-scoring game for them to win this. They've relied on their defense for years. They've won with defense and special teams primarily. And if it's going to happen, they can't let them score too early in this football game as Toy Cook comes back in this ball game.
They've passed for 5. They've rushed for 5. They have a 2nd and goal at the 6. This corner, touchdown catch, Haywood Jeffries. 6 yards to Jeffries.
This was the play that Warren Moon said he felt he had an advantage. It's the underthrown, what they call fade route to Haywood Jeffries. I mean, he thinks like he's going to go deep, and the defensive backs think it's going to be a deep one, but then he underthrows it, and he turns away from the defender. I mean, it's a subtle little move by Haywood Jeffries. Jeffries was talking to us yesterday about that move, felt he could do it on Jimmy Spencer, and indeed he did.
One of the reasons is Jeffries is so tall, and he can really play it well. Al Del Greco now for the point after attempt. Out of the hold of Bucky Richardson. And it is a 7-0 game, Houston. An 80-yard drive and 11 plays.
Watch the eyes here of Jeffries. It's set up. Jeffries makes him think it's going to be deep, but it's not. Falls away from the defender, and they're the perfectly thrown ball by Moon, and they got a touchdown, the first one of the 1993 season.
Mountain Cable Advertising is proud to bring you primetime NFL football exclusively on cable television. Tonight's TNT broadcast is brought to you locally by McDonald's. What you want is what you get at McDonald's today. And by the Rocky Mountain Chevy dealers, where you get Corvettes, Suburbans, the 58-mile-per-gallon Metro, and America's most reliable pickups. And by the Electronics Place. We beat any price.
The Electronics Place, Utah's newest electronics superstore, celebrates Labor Day with their incredible grand opening sale. Unbelievable prices in all departments. Full-size VHS or 8mm camcorders, $4.99. Magnavox 31-inch stereo TVs, $7.99. All home loudspeakers, including JBL, Advent, DCM, and Cerwin-Vega, 25% off. Complete computer package with monitors, $7.99. Come help us celebrate at 7200 South State Street. The Electronics Place. We beat any price.
McDonald's, huh? Yeah. Smells good. Thanks. If this ride were any longer, you'd have to fight for those fries. We're stuck.
Haywood Jeffries with a 6-yard touchdown catch. Warren Moon was 5 of 6 on that drive for 55 yards. Del Greco to kick off. 7-0 Houston. Brown and Hughes back deep. And it's going to be the rookie Derek Brown out of Nebraska. Brings it out across the 20 to the 21, and Wade Wilson will come in, the 34-year-old. He won a 3-way battle with Steve Walsh and Mike Buck to gain the starting nod tonight. He had a glorious finish. Pat talked about that earlier with the Falcons last year. 3 straight 300-yard games. He's been a starter in Minnesota for 5 years. He went to the Pro Bowl in 1988. He's known as a streaky player.
Yeah, a little bit like David Craig in that sense. You know, he can if he gets started early, I mean, he could really have a big game. He has played at times magnificently, at other times very average.
Lorenzo Neal and Fred McAfee in the backfield. This will be Neal. He's a rookie out of Fresno State. And he's been very impressive. Picks up 8 yards on the play out to the 30-yard line. Well, we mentioned Neal. He's a 4th-round draft pick. He's joined by Fred McAfee, who has not played in the preseason because of a knee injury. Turner, Early, and Brenner, the veteran tight end. And up front, Jay Hilgenberg, not Joel. Jay, the older brother of Joel, is starting at center. He's had a week to get ready for the job. 2nd and 2 yards to go. This time McAfee trying to go wide, and he will not get wide. Very good reaction by Sean Jones, who played very well in the preseason. He had his first training camp since 1989, and had 5 sacks in the preseason. Defensively, Fuller, Childress, Montgomery starting in place of Lee Williams, who's out with a knee injury. Robinson, Smith, and Joe Bowden with a new number, which we'll talk more about. Dishman, Lewis with his first start. Bubba McDowell, one of the best strong safeties. In fact, Buddy Ryan says the best strong safety he's ever coached. 3rd down and 8. Flag on the play. Wilson gets rid of it. He completes it to Eric Martin. Martin is short of the first down, tackled out across the 30, but let's sort out the penalty flag as Ray Childress is over there to make the stop. Bob McElwee is our referee. It's going to be offside against Houston.
Yeah, that's a nice play by Wade Wilson. Use the count.
Offside, number 79, defense. 5 yards, 3rd down.
But also saw the audible. It was a blitz audible on a 3rd and 8. Now, this is Jackson. He's a defensive back who's going to blitz him. This is Martin, who reads it as well and runs a little square out. Now, you're going to have a lot of sight adjustments. That's what it is, a sight adjustment off of blitz when you play against a Buddy Ryan blitzing defense. Now, you're going to take some smacks as a receiver and as a quarterback, but if you're patient enough, you can come up with some big pass plays.
What was it Wade Wilson said? I got to keep my poise.
That's right. Take some licks.
3rd and 3. He tried to Dalton Hilliard. That ball would have been a big gain had it not been thrown too tall for him, and it'll bring up a 4th down. He was open in the flat, and they're going to have to punt the football.
Yeah, he was open in the flat, but there were some guys in Wade Wilson's face that made him throw that ball higher than he wanted.
Tommy Barnhart will come in and punt the football, coming off his finest year.
You know, both these teams come after the punter. I wouldn't be surprised to see a blocked punt sometime tonight.
Wainwright will snap it. Not hit especially high. Brewery is going to let it hit, and it's taken a safe bounce, and it goes inside the 25-yard line. They'll mark it just inside the 24. That ends up being a 48-yard punt. Not artistic, as Barnhart is saying, but very effective.
There are some tough birds in our division who love putting the ache to Aikman. And those people in Washington definitely believe in capital punishment. And even when things are going good, I remember there are still giants in New York. Do I think winning another Super Bowl is going to be easy? Get real.
Logo Athletic, authentic team apparel.
To everyone struggling to build a future in this era of challenge, uncertainty, and change, come in under the strength of our $50 billion in assets. To everyone wrestling with the rising costs of doing business, commercial insurance, workers' comp, come in under a program that has helped save American companies over $300 million. Come in where America's spirit is found. The Travelers, America's umbrella.
In just over a half hour, your family will disappear out the door. What do you fix for dinner?
Well, if you're ready to go when I am.
It's quick. It's easy.
Oh, I invited Bobby over.
It's beef.
Hey, Bobby, pull up a chair.
It's what's for dinner.
There's only one talk show that links the entire world, where issues and news events are open to global discussion.
I have a question on your...
Larry King Live. He's got the world talking. Weeknights, 9 Eastern, only on CNN.
Saints trying to make some adjustments. They've had to make those due to the injury to Joel Hilgenberg. Jay, his older brother, 34, who 7 years a Pro Bowler with Chicago, started last year for Cleveland, lost the job to Steve Everett, the #1 draft pick of Cleveland. Boone over the middle to Lorenzo White, and White to the 30 and dropped there. He'll be 3 yards short of the first down and bring up a second down. Now White caught 57 passes last year to show you his ability to come out of the backfield. One thing about this Oiler team that was so interesting in our meetings last night.
You know, just take a look at this. Here's the middle linebacker, Mills. He goes out, and here's White, who just kind of delays right over the middle. I mean, again, when you're thinking about those 4 wide receivers so much, you can just dump it off to Lorenzo White for 8 or 9 yards.
Second down, and a long 3. Boone. Nice catch is made by Ernest Gibbons, and Gibbons has a first down to the 45, a 16-yarder on the play.
I love to watch Ernest Gibbons. I mean, he is like a hummingbird out there. I mean, he can start and he can stop, and he'll go deep and short and catch balls over the middle. And, you know, now in his 8th year, he has caught a lot of balls over the middle and been hit a lot over the middle. And now he's looking for something. He lost something.
Off his chin strap, I guess. He had 10 touchdown catches last year. 37, the 8 years that he and Warren Moon have played together. First down at the 45. White pins it back, and White will get to the 47. Now, one of the points I started to make is, in talking to the Oilers last night, I thought it was so interesting how they've taken on a challenge that this team may not be back. They're using it as a positive rather than a negative.
Yeah, that's what Warren Moon said is, you know, he didn't feel the pressure. As a matter of fact, he's relieved that Bud Adams has said, hey, guys, do it this year or the party's over. And so everybody knows exactly where they stand. They understand that, well, they have 30 guys in the last year of a contract, so this is it. But he's playing at least loosely. Doesn't feel like it makes him uptight.
2nd and 8 for the Houston Oilers. Complete to Gibbons. Boy, he's tough after the catch. Stripped with the ball. It's loose. The Saints have it. And running the ball is Jimmy Spencer. And Spencer goes out of bounds at the 41-yard line. Stripped by Ricky Jackson. So a guy who's so good after the catch, Gibbons didn't protect the football.
You know, and this defense knows their offense is not going to generate a lot of points by themselves. So what do? The defense takes it into their own hands and causes turnovers, causes fumbles, and gives their offense a short field. Again, this is not a bad play at all by Gibbons. It's a terrific play by Ricky Jackson, who's hustling, still in his 13th year, still hustling around all over the field. And he sensed that he wasn't going to get him. But the great players have that other sense of, hey, if I can't tackle him, let's make a play somehow or other. Dive, maybe tip it away, as Ricky Jackson did right there.
First down at the Houston 41.
That's a good play. Man.
Roy Turner comes in motion. Wilson dumps it off to Dalton Hilliard. Hilliard makes the move at the 40 to the 35, a gain of 6.
You know, Gary, as I watched Dalton Hilliard, this Saint team has not been the same team since he was injured. He blew out that knee in 1990, I guess it was, and they were a great running team in '89. But since then, they have run the ball poorly. And they're a hard team to figure out because they're conservative, but they don't run the ball well.
And Mora loves to run the football.
Yeah.
It's just not happening. They only averaged 3.6 a carry last season. 2nd and 4 from the 35. Wilson slant pattern. Eric Martin, and Martin takes it for a first down to the 20. And here's a guy, Pat, that can catch the ball in traffic as well as anybody in the NFL.
He doesn't get open by much. But if you get the ball in his direction, he's going to make a play. Now, we talked about the rushers here. We talked about '89 being the big year. But look what's happened since then. And that's what makes, I think, the Saints a tough team to understand, because you would think, as conservative as they are, I mean, this is an offense that Rush Limbaugh would love. You know, they really haven't had that dominant runner.
16 yards into the 20-yard line.
He's your hero, I know.
I know, Rush is. Back to throw now is Wilson. Over the top to Hilliard. He can't get there. Pretty good coverage that time, as that was Eddie Robinson, the linebacker, dropping off to make the cover on the corner.
This offensive line, we're treated to two very good offensive lines, I think, particularly in the pass protection. Watch the offensive line here as these guys give Wade Wilson some time. Port does his job. Richard Cooper, the left tackle, the rookie. William Rope had a nice start to his game, so those guys give him plenty of time now.
2nd and 10 for the 20-yard line. They're coming after him on the blitz. Wilson got rid of it, but didn't have enough time, and there's going to be a roughing the passer, I believe. Dalton Hilliard, the intended receiver, covered very well that time by Michael Barrow, the rookie.
Bubba McDowell, number 25, is a strong safety, but he's playing a lot more. He's the blitzer in their defensive backfield as well.
Holding, number 77, offense, 10 yards, 2nd down.
So it was holding, not a roughing the passer.
Yeah.
That's William Roth, the rookie, their #1 draft pick out of Louisiana Tech.
He's number 77, the right tackle. And he's got the Heimlich maneuver, pulling William Fuller down. It's an easy call. Bubba McDowell gets close again. Bubba McDowell is, again, one of those key matchups today. Him on the blitz. Who picks up Bubba McDowell on the blitz will also be a determinant in who wins and loses this football game.
10-yard penalty makes it 2nd and 20 now from the 30-yard line. 7-0 Houston, 3:11 to go in the first quarter. And Tom Jones saw something.
I'll tell you, that's twice Wade Wilson has done that. He's used his voice inflection to draw him off sides, but that was 2nd and 20. You normally save that, Gary, for a 3rd and 3. You normally save, because you get 2 or 3 of those a game, but you save them for critical situations. 3rd and 3, not 2nd and 20.
So they'll get 5 yards back of that penalty a moment ago. Moves it inside the 25-yard line.
Now, here's where the Saints, I think, if they want to take that next step, they have to quit relying on Morton Anderson so much. I mean, let it happen here. You've got some pretty good wide receivers, in Quinn Early in particular, Floyd Turner, Eric Martin. Let something happen in the passing game down here. Don't rely on Morton Anderson so much.
2nd and 15. Quinn Early in motion, an end-around fake by Wilson. Gets it off instead of going Brown to the 15 to the 10. He is just short of the first down. That's a 13-yard pickup on the play, and Brown, who they think is a little Dalton Hilliard, the rookie out of Nebraska, did a very good job once he caught the ball.
Good block by number 77, Rolf, on Fuller. And this was a nicely designed play. Carl Smith, the offensive coordinator, a good call, fakes the reverse, a little misdirection against a penetrating defense. Nice call, good play.
But they're still a yard short. 3rd down coming up from the 11.
Yeah, and remember the Saints, not a good running or short yardage team, and Wilson's going to burn a timeout.
Wilson will call a timeout. It's closer to 2 yards, but it's 3rd down. Wilson using the first timeout with 2:28 to go in this first quarter. New Orleans trying to tie this game up.
It's the Chevy authorized year-end clearance sale at your neighborhood Rocky Mountain Chevy Geo dealer. Now till September 22nd, you'll get over $1,900 in option discounts, up to $1,500 in cash back, and this decade's lowest interest. Act now and lease a 93 full-size Chevy pickup for just $229 a month for only 24 months. Factory authorized year-end clearance now till September 22nd at your neighborhood Rocky Mountain Chevy Geo dealer.
My, what an impressive display of casual sportswear. Did they pay?
Come see the wildest show on turf, University of Utah football. Season tickets are on sale now. Call 581-UTIX.
Saints trying to capitalize on the turnover that set them up at the 41. So very important 3rd down and 2 coming up. Gary Bender along with Pat Hayden as we have 2:28 left in the first quarter. Houston took the opening drive and marched it to take a 7-0 lead.
Now, strategically, they have 2 choices. I mean, they can take 2 runs and try to pick up the first down, or take your shot throwing the ball maybe to Eric Martin, who's very good inside the 15.
Floyd Turner goes in motion. Wilson going to run it, diving, and I don't think he got it. It's going to be 4th down. He needed to get inside the 10. Sean Jones, with a big collision there, he may have lost someone to play, so they're going to bring in Morton Anderson.
Yeah, the Houston Oilers got themselves a little bit of a break here because Bubba McDowell, number 25, slipped and fell. Now Quinn Early's open.
But boy, you know, when you're running the ball, Pat, it's hard to see sometimes.
You're absolutely right. It's much easier to see when you've got, you know, 14 cameras or whatever.
Now Morton Anderson has kicked 20 straight field goals. The record in the NFL is 24. This will be a 28-yard attempt. High snap. Barnhart gets it down, and Anderson gets it up quickly. And it's now a 7-3 football game. Kevin Butler holds the NFL record, 24 straight, and now Morton Anderson has set a Saints record with 21 in a row. So Jim Moore's team on the scoreboard, getting 3 off of that turnover. Next week, we're going to head out to the Pacific Northwest for an AFC West showdown between the Raiders, who look very good, I understand, today in their win, and the Seahawks, who played very good defense today. Join us as we see Seattle's new young quarterback Rick Meyer, the former Fighting Irish man. It all begins with the Silver Bullet Stadium show with special guest Bob Golick. 7:30 Eastern, followed by the kickoff at 8 o'clock.
Hey, the Hoss, Jeff Hostover, 23 of 27, 225 yards, I think. A touchdown. He had a big day.
Well, John Carney had what? 4 field goals, 6 field goals today. Yes.
Yeah.
6 field goals, all 18 points in that win for San Diego.
One of the interesting things about the the Houston Oilers is number 7. There he is. That's the 3rd-team quarterback, Bucky Richardson. Now, he has actually made the 45-man roster as a special teams player. I mean, this guy holds. This guy is on the kickoff return team. He's on the punt team. This is not your average quarterback.
Team loves him.
Yeah.
I mean, he's one of their most favorite players, one of the most popular players.
He wears a mouthpiece. He's got the real face mask on.
Now, you wanted to do that, didn't you?
Absolutely.
Didn't you want to cover kickoffs when you were in the NFL?
You got to be an athlete. Do it all.
I bet you begged to get in there.
Only when the score was like 35-0, I can say.
Gary Brown going back, and he'll have to go to a knee. So they'll come out to the 20-yard line. 7-3 our score, with 1:31 left to go in this first quarter. A little pushing and shoving going on inside the 20-yard line. This guy, James Williams, always seems to be around the football on the special teams. Well, they marked the ball at the 15. They're starting the regular season too, right?
Preseason's over.
So at the 20-yard line, Moon will come in. He's 8 of 9 for 86 yards and 1 touchdown.
But the Saints defense did exactly, they've started 93 in the exact same fashion as 1992. Creating the turnovers, making a short field for their offense, keeping a game close, trying to win in the 4th quarter.
Slaughter goes in motion. Moon with time, and the ball almost intercepted on the rebound by Vince Buck. Buck coming over, had a hand on it momentarily as that shot went through Curtis Duncan's hands, and almost the 2nd turnover of the game for the Houston Oilers.
Again, this New Orleans Saints defense can still really play. Yes, they've got some age on them. Yes, Pat Swilley's no longer here, but still good things can happen to them. You don't stay open long, and if you catch the ball, they're going to hit you. And they're going to hit you hard, and they're going to cause fumbles.
2nd and 10. Moon on the little shovel pass forward to Lorenzo White, and he'll be a couple of yards short of the first down, out across the 28-yard line. It'll bring up a third down. Brent Maxey made the stop for the Saints.
You can see the rush here. We talk about Kevin Donnelly, number 77. He's the left tackle. He comes down, box Vaughn Johnson, the middle linebacker. Big seam there, big hole there for White. I mean, anytime you're not afraid to throw the ball, you're going to be a good running team. And that's what the Oilers are, a good running team.
3rd and 2. Moon, far side, couldn't make the connection with Duncan. Pretty good coverage that time by Cedric Mack, the veteran who was with him stride for stride, and it's 4th down.
Their first drive, the Oilers go down and in a very impressive fashion score a touchdown. Second drive, there's a turnover, a forced fumble by Ricky Jackson. Third drive, they're punting after 3 plays. And then again, the Saints defense has played well here in the first quarter.
Hunting the football, the guy who led the NFL last year, Greg Montgomery. He'll get it away to a rookie, Tyrone Hughes, out of Nebraska. Beautiful punt. Hughes is going to have to let that one hit, and it's going to go out of bounds. Let's see where they mark it. At the 25 is where they're going to mark it. Let's look at the Saints' strengths and weaknesses. You were talking basically about their defense. They were the best in the NFL as far as points allowed.
Yeah, pass defense, number 1. Sacks, fumble recoveries. Obviously they cause a lot of fumbles because they play zone defense. They have guys like Ricky Jackson hustling around causing fumbles. You see the weaknesses, the rushing game. And like I said, it's an anomaly, this team. You would consider them a physical defensive team. They want to run the ball, but they haven't been able to. They still aren't winning on offense. And to win a championship, you have to be able to win on defense, special teams, and offense. They still only have 2 of the 3.
Fred McAfee, the single running back, and McAfee for 2. We should mention that McAfee did not play in the preseason. He was hurt. But the Saints' leading rusher from a year ago, Von Dunbar, is out for the season with a knee injury. And then their starting fullback, Brad Muster, went down with a sprained knee last week. So Neal, the rookie, and McAfee, who did not play in the preseason, started in the backfield. Yeah,
so it's tough for Jim Mora. Here you are trying to run the football, trying to establish it, and yet your 2 starting running backs are hurt, not available.
Well, we're going to end our first quarter of play here at the Louisiana Superdome. 7-3, Houston with the lead.
This simple outside says inside you'll find a lasting commitment to performance. The Intel 486DX2 processor, power for today's hottest software, and the Intel Pentium processor for the next generation of compatible power. That's Intel, the computer inside.
Back to school shopping.
Oh, perfect.
Too shiny.
Perfect.
Too flat. No way.
You look like a perfect little gentleman.
Gentlemen? Don't make that face at me.
Ma, now can we go to Foot Locker?
For back-to-school shopping, that's perfect. Get over to Foot Locker today.
Is this fresh or what? Like a perfect little gentleman?
Whoa! Back-to-school shopping at Foot Locker, where it all begins.
Did you tell him to say that?
Not me.
When Jiffy Lube says we've got experience, they mean it. They've got more trained technicians, more locations, and they've serviced more cars than any other fast lube. So what oil do they offer? The performance, protection, and quality of Pennzoil motor oil. Put their experience to work protecting your new car warranty. Do what most people do. Take your car to number 1. Take it to Jiffy Lube.
Drive in every 3,000 miles.
Bob Neal down on the sideline at the set for our Fruit of the Loom halftime report, where Kevin and Fran will be along with me at halftime to look at highlights from this game. And Ernie Johnson Jr. in Atlanta will have highlights of that big Raiders upset, 49ers roll, and the New York Giants beat the Bears. We've got it all at halftime. We'll join you fellas down here in just a couple of minutes.
Okay, Bob, thank you. We'll look forward to that. In that first quarter, the Saints had only 3 yards rushing. 2nd down and 9 as we start quarter number 2. Bubba McDowell stepping across the line of scrimmage, and Derek Brown spins out to the 31-yard line with a free play.
Well, that's the third time that Wade Wilson's drawn the Oilers offside. So he is using his voice inflection to pick up 15 easy yards.
Offside, number 25, defense, 5 yards, second down.
You see, Bubba McDowell, the strong safety, has really become like a linebacker in this scheme. He's right there, and he's going to jump in offsides. You got to watch the ball. You can't listen to the quarterback. If you watch the ball, you're not offsides.
Well, they'll refuse the penalty, take the gain of 6 yards, 2nd and 4. Derek Brown again. Brown bouncing around and fighting close to the first down. Needed to get out to the 36, and he's close to that spot. Brown last year for Nebraska gained over 1,000 yards. Came out early after his junior year, and that time, let's see if he got the first down. They do have it. First down, the Saints. So now establishing a running game.
You know, there's some pretty good blocks up there on the right side. William Rofe, the #1 draft pick, the rookie, number 77, and he's a guy who's come into the Saints and just acted like he's been here for 10 years. You know, he's acted like he should be starting.
First down, 3 of 5 passing. Now completes his 4th of the game. Eric Martin, who again catches the ball so well with people right next to him, has a 16-yard gain, and they're at the Houston end of the field at the 47-yard line.
You know, we talked about Eric Martin, and because he doesn't have blazing speed, when he gets open, he's not open for terribly long. But if you just give him a chance and get the ball around him, he'll make a play. That was pretty good coverage by McDowell, but he is so strong, Eric Martin. He uses his body to screen the defender, and anything comes down, he'll just suck that ball up, and you have no chance.
That's the reason he's the all-time leading receiver for the Saints. Led him for 6 straight years in receiving. Dalton Hilliard goes in motion. Wilson looks up the field, and that ball deflected. Very dangerous pass that time. Wilson had somebody open in the flat, and then Chris Dishman almost came up with the interception.
Take a look at William Rofe. This is this #1 draft pick that we're talking about. He has done a very good job here in the first half. Now he sets inside. He's going to force William Fuller to go all the way around the quarterback. I mean, he's doing his job. The play before, he threw a pretty good block for Derek Brown on the run. And this is a guy that Jim Morris said, you know, when I first saw him walk, I thought he was hurt. Yeah. But he can play. He's going to be playing there for 10, 15 years maybe.
Buddy Ryan says he looks like a 10-year vet that you were talking about. Wainwright goes in motion. Wilson to Wainwright, drops it. Frank Wainwright, the backup tight end out of Northern Colorado, couldn't come up with that one. It'll bring up 3rd down. The Saints had a very good draft. They had 2 #1 picks due to the fact they traded Pat Swilling to the Detroit Lions. You mentioned Rofe, also Irv Smith out of Notre Dame.
You know, it's amazing that 7 rookies draft picks make a team that went 12-4 a year ago. I mean, that's kind of amazing, but it is a good draft. Rofe, the best offensive lineman in the draft. Irv Smith, the best tight end available in the draft.
3rd down, 10. The Saints have not converted a 3rd down. They're 0 for 3. Wilson up the middle. Eric Martin inside the 30. First down to the 27. Marcus Robertson made the tackle, but it's a 20-yard gain for this veteran wide receiver.
Give Wade Wilson some credit, too, because he is hanging in the pocket, and when you do that, you can find guys like Eric Martin. He works the middle between the hash marks, much like Ernest Givens does for the Oilers. You get the ball near him, he's not going to bobble it, you're not going to get tip balls from him. He just kind of sucks the ball up like a sponge, and you get a first down. But Wade Wilson, I'm telling you, is hanging in there in the pocket and really showing some patience.
Moving the football. First down at the 27. Turner in motion. Wilson over the middle. Martin a little too much behind him. He tried to adjust to the ball inside the 15. That ball thrown with a lot of velocity that time, and Martin couldn't get turned around in time to come up with another catch.
Yeah, you know, that was one that Wade Wilson thought that Eric Martin was going to hook up right on the hash mark. Martin kept coming around inside, and so that's why it bounced off his hands. He had him open easily for a first down.
They get Martin out of there right now. Turner will go split out, joined by Quinn Early. Second down, 10. Here comes the blitz. Lorenzo Neal, the rookie from Fresno State, who is also the WAC wrestling champ, takes it to the 21-yard line, and Eddie Robinson made the tackle there. It'll bring up now third down and still 4 yards to go.
I'll tell you, that's a nice bounce there by Neal, but what happens here, all the offensive linemen come in here, he just kind of bounces off. I mean, it's one thing to make this kind of play when you're an I-back, but when you're lined up at fullback, only 2 yards away from the line of scrimmage, to be able to bounce it out around outside is kind of remarkable. That's a nice play by Lorenzo Neal.
What was it Jim Morris said? He's like a bowling ball. He just bounces off of people and runs over them.
He scored about, what, 222 on that one.
Third down and 4. And the blitz coming. They get it out to Hobie Brenner, the tight end. First and goal at the 4.
Great play by Wade Wilson off the blitz. Michael Barrow, the middle linebacker, was coming. Wade Wilson knew he was coming. But he said, if I stay poised in the pocket, we can come up with some big plays against this Oiler defense. They don't have to be long plays. The ball doesn't have to be in the air for a long time. But that is a courageous play by Wade Wilson, finding Hobie Brenner as tight end. Now, he knows he's going to take a shot. But it wasn't good timing on the blitz by Barrow. Got there too late.
First and goal at the 4. Neal, nothing doing that time, and flags everywhere. Everybody threw a flag on that play. Ray Childress is there to stop Lorenzo Neal. Delay a game? No, illegal substitution. They had too many people on the field, and now we have Childress down and getting up slowly. Looks like he may have hurt his right arm. That's too many people on the field, that signal.
Offside, number 28 defense. That penalty is accepted. 12 men on the field against the defense. That penalty will be declined. 5 yards. Correction, half the distance. First down.
Well, they had so many things wrong, and no wonder they were able to stop that play. Offside and 12 people, you ought to stop that play,
That's
huh?
right.
We're going to come back. 10:42 to go in the first half. The Oilers with a 7-3 lead, but at the 5-yard line, New Orleans.
The NFL on TNT is brought to you by GMC Truck, the strength of experience, and by Rolling Rock Premium Beer from the Mountain Springs to you, same as it ever was.
Underneath every new Jimmy is the strength of a strong truck frame. An important advantage for towing, whether you're on road or off road. The GMC Jimmy. Drop in for a test drive.
It was fascination, I know, and it might have ended right then at the start. Just a passing glance, just a brief romance, fascination turned to love.
Okay, that's Pro Bowl defensive tackle Ray Childress, and he took a shot into his right arm. Watch him right here as he comes in. He's going to get hit by the face mask, I think, of the running back. Yeah, big old Lorenzo Neal. Read his lips. Said he broke his arm, and he starts asking for some help. And players know. Players know.
Well, let's hope it isn't broken. Half the distance to the goal then. Makes it at the 2 as the Saints come out. First and goal there.
Great time for play action.
Dalton Hilliard, touchdown, New Orleans. Dalton Hilliard, the second all-time leading rusher for the New Orleans Saints, second only to George Rogers from 2 yards out, and the Saints have the lead for the first time.
Yeah, that right side of the offensive line, William Rowe, Kennard, Brenner, and then he follows the lead block of his rookie fullback, Lorenzo Neal. I mean, that's how you run the football.
10 plays, 74 yards, just inside 5 minutes on the drive. Morton Anderson point after. And New Orleans has a 10-7 lead. So all of a sudden, the running game has perked up. And Dalton Hilliard caps it with this 2-yard run.
One MRI scan, $1,100.
There's no question healthcare costs are high.
2 pain relievers, $5.
That's why you need someone to work in your behalf to lower those costs.
1 hospital stay per night, $1,500.
At Blue Cross and Blue Shield, we don't own hospitals or employ physicians.
1 open heart surgery, $30,000.
Our only job is to manage your healthcare dollars.
1 human life, absolutely priceless.
We don't provide medical care. We provide a way to make it affordable.
Training Table Restaurants. Great food, good friends, and fun. When Willard Richards built the first granite furniture store in the Sugar House district of Salt Lake, people had to make a real effort to get there. So he made sure his store had everything, so their trip would be worth it. At today's Granite Furniture Superstores, you can shop 7 stores under one roof. Because when it's so easy to shop somewhere else, now more than ever, we have to make sure your trip to Granite is worth it. Granite Furniture, where you always get more than you pay for.
Number 1 draft pick, William Rowe, leading the way to the Saints' first rushing touchdown of the year.
Yeah, he's number 77, and you see why he is a number 1 draft pick, because he just kind of locks his man inside, and that is an easy touchdown run for Dalton Hilliard because of the block of William Rowe and Derek Kennard. Now, Michael Barrow, the outside linebacker, had a chance to make a play here. Now, he comes a little too wide. Watch, he can come too wide. If he comes down a little tighter, he can make a play.
And so the kickoff, as we come back to the live action, is downed in the end zone by Gary Brown. And at the 20-yard line, Warren Moon now trailing for the first time. 10-7 will come out. 10:32 to go in this first half of play.
So the Saints, so far in this game, they lead 10-7, have really played this exactly the way they wanted. They've been able to control the clock. They've created a turnover on defense. They kept Warren Moon off the field. I mean, this is exactly what they wanted to do.
There's the numbers on the 2 QBs as we come out at the 20. Slaughter comes in motion. Half roll by Moon, and he makes a completion to Jeffries across the 25 to the 26, and he's gang tackled there. Haywood Jeffries with 190 catches in the last 2 years. Has led the AFC in receiving the last 3.
4 tonight for 3. No gloves by Haywood Jeffries. Most receivers in the league now are wearing gloves. He says, no fashion statement by me. He says, my hands are kind of small, and I want to really feel that ball when it comes my way.
You know, Slaughter doesn't use them either.
Yeah.
You expect to see those wide receivers with those gloves with high technology. Well, he's got them on now. He did the other night.
That's
Duncan. But Slaughter does not, as you mentioned, Jeffries doesn't either. Second down, Lorenzo White trying to go wide, and Ronaldo Turnbull, the guy that's trying to make him forget about Pat Swilling, over there to make the tackle.
Well, at the very beginning of the broadcast, we said one of the keys to this game was Ronaldo Turnbull, particularly in the pass game. Here is Donnelly, number 77, and 97 Turnbull. That is a matchup. It may have a large part in who wins this game. Again, that on the running play, that round goes to Ronaldo Turnbull, who fights away from Donnelly, just throws him away, and makes the play.
A guy who was drafted #1 out of West Virginia. 3rd down and 5. The side adjustment, didn't like what he saw. So with 9:05 to go in this first half, 2 timeouts remaining for the Oilers. 10-7, New Orleans with the lead.
Chili, fried, coffee.
You better add on some Tums.
On the house.
Except these aren't Tums.
Same thing.
You got them all mixed up.
I told you, they're all the same.
Listen to me. Tums has calcium. Is this calcium? No, it uses aluminum and magnesium. So does this. This here, original roll-ins, uses an aluminum salt. The only one of these that helps wipe out heartburn and gives you calcium you need is Tums.
Something my body needs anyway. I like that.
Insist on calcium-rich Tums.
At GMC Truck, we've built a reputation for truck strengths. A considerable advantage. It also comes in this handy take-home side. Sierra from GMC Truck.
Earl Jones, Billy D. Williams, and Courtney B. Vance as Thunder. A fighter in a split decision between honor and corruption. Percy and Thunder from TNT Screenworks premieres Tuesday night at 8.
Saints with a 10-7 lead, and it's quite obvious what really turned this game around was that fumble recovery. Ricky Jackson stripping the ball from Gibbons, and then the run by Spencer. Since that time, 5 plays, 13 yards for the Oilers offensively. Curtis Duncan, and Duncan will make the first down catch just short of the 35-yard line. Tyrone Leggett over there to make the stop, and it's time for tonight's GMC Truck leaderboard as we look at the action of the old quarterbacks. Steve DeBerg started today for Tampa Bay. Sims also. Montana, what a game he had today.
Wow.
Warren Moon will be 37 in November. Down 10. Lorenzo White trying to get wide. Von Johnson closing on him. Also Vince Clark. And they knock him out of bounds at the 38-yard line.
You know, Von Johnson is one of those distinguished inside linebackers of the New Orleans Saints. I mean, these Saints inside linebackers, he and Sam Mills, can do 2 things. They can run sideline to sideline when they have to, but then they can stuff the run inside as well. I mean, even with Pat Swilling gone and Ronaldo Turnbull taking his place, they still have a very strong linebacking core.
3 of them went to the Pro Bowl last year. One of those, the man you just looked at, Von Johnson, 2nd and 7. Moon, double pumping. Completion to Gibbons, and Gibbons fighting for the first down. He needs to get across the 45. Gene Atkins over there, one of the underrated safeties in the NFL, eventually able to wrestle him out.
Key matchup we talked about, Donnelly against Turnbull. Donnelly's number 77, the left tackle, gets away with a hold here on Turnbull. And again, he also get some help from Lorenzo White, the back.
One reason Donnelly's out there, Don Maggs, their starting left tackle of the year ago, went to Denver as a free agent. They had to make some adjustments. That was a first down. At the Moon gets away from Frank Warren, and incomplete. Duncan had double coverage, and Moon showing his ability in the open field, and now we have a fight breaking out inside the 35. Webster Slaughter has a lot of black jerseys around him. Gene Atkins is one of those.
You know, as you look at how about going face mask to face mask?
A couple of bulls there, huh? They call him Gene the Assassin because he'll hit you.
It's kind of ironic as you watch both these teams that each of them is looking for that missing element that the other team possesses. I mean, the Oilers are looking for a defense that can win games, make the plays at critical times. The Saints, of course, are looking for an offense so they don't have to depend on Morton Anderson and that defense so much.
Buddy Ryan, he loves that aggressive defense, and he'd like the way the offense is being aggressive right now, huh? That's kind of a defensive move there. Maybe Slaughter could play linebacker for him.
Line him up, blitz him.
Second down 10.
You always pick on the guys with 20s, though. You never go after the guys with 70. The rule.
Moon in trouble. Troy Cook's got him. Cook on the blitz. Backside, and Moon has a loss inside the 35-yard line.
Well, Troy Cook has done it with guile and smarts for a long time. Not necessarily the fastest guy in the league, but he times it perfectly. I mean, if you get a blitz and you don't have flat-out speed, you got to get off right on the snap count. And Troy Cook did a terrific job of timing that blitz.
Loss of 8. They mark it at the 38-yard line. Third down and 18. And that will be enough for the first down. You talk about a very important catch. Curtis Duncan came back, a 19-yard grab. They needed 18. That was beautifully thrown, and Duncan adjusting well to the football.
Two great things about that. Curtis Duncan goes 19 yards. I mean, how many receivers did I see today in the NFL run, 1 yard short of the first down marker? So he gets to 19 yards. The second thing is maybe 2 or 3 quarterbacks that can make that throw. He and John Elway, Dan Marino come to mind. I mean, that was a frozen rope. That ball was in the air, a good 40 yards.
First down, 43 of New Orleans. Lorenzo White, and he's going nowhere. Good reaction that time. Guess who it was? Troy Cook. Cook is playing sideline to sideline after sustaining that injury early on an excellent defensive play on a pass.
We talked to Troy Cook, and he says, what do you fear most about the run and shoot? And surprisingly, I thought, Gary, he said, their offensive line. He said that offensive line is so good that it's tough to put pressure on Warren Moon, and if you can't get after him, it makes it awfully tough on us defensive backs.
Well, Munchak's been to the Pro Bowl 8 times, and for the last 5 years, Bruce Matthews. Second and 8. Backside pressure, they cut it off, Moon over the middle, Slaughter broken up at the last instant by Brent Maxey. That was a touchdown.
And that was great timing by Brett Maxey. Warren Moon took a shot, but that's going to happen to quarterbacks. Defensive backs have to make plays as well, and you had one there from Brett Maxey. Started with pretty good protection. On the outside was Turnbull. He comes in. It was an inside shot that he took. That was by Robert Goff, and a perfectly timed play by Brett Maxey. I mean, oftentimes you see receivers make the perfectly timed jump. That was a perfectly timed play by that strong safety.
Third and 8, 11th play of the drive. A screen over the middle, intended for White, incomplete. A lot of congestion that time, but you know the Saints are waiting for that because they love to screen on that type of play.
Yeah, this Saint defense in 1993, once again, is for real. Steve Sidwell, the defensive coordinator, has got these guys charged up. And Warren Moon right now is a bit frustrated.
Greg Montgomery will come in and punt after that frustration into the drive. Fourth down. Tyrone Hughes back. trying to keep this in the field of play. Hughes calling for the fair catch and makes it at the 13-yard line. 4:48 left to go in this first half. The Saints with a 10-7 lead, and Warren Moon, after the opening drive, has been stymied.
ZCMI offers you 12 months interest-free on the best in electronics, furniture, and so much more. Receive 12 months interest-free. Monday only on everything from recliners, TVs and stereos, to computers. Monday only. ZCMI knows what you want. But hurry, 12-month interest-free Monday doesn't last forever.
My, what an impressive display of casual sportswear. Did they pay?
Every TV, VCR, and camcorder on sale and deferred payments until January. Now at R.C. Willey.
Offensive coordinator Kevin Gilbride looking for something that will work. It was going well early, and then the turnover really pivoted this game around.
You see what he has there on his right wrist. He's got a band there because opponents in the AFC Central, particularly said the Cleveland Browns, film him for a couple of years, and they've actually been taping him or filming him, signaling in plays. So he said, what we do now is I have this wristband, so does Warren Moon, and I just give him numbers.
Wilson starts his drive inside the 15. He gets off to Fred McAfee, and McAfee able to negotiate the 18, second down.
Think about what we have here in the first half. 4:39 remaining in the first half. Saints up by 3 points, 10-7, and it's gone directly the way that Jim Morrow would have liked. Keep the game close. Try to keep it a low-scoring game. Defense makes the turnovers. It's gone exactly according to his script. On the other hand, flip it over. What do the Oilers have to do? They got off to a great start. Somebody has to make a play. The defense, Buddy Ryan defense, hasn't come up with a big turnover, the big play yet, and that's why Buddy Ryan came to the Oilers, to make those kind of plays.
Second down and 7, Martin in motion. The blitz coming from Michael Barrow up the middle. They get rid of it. Complete to Dalton Hilliard. Hilliard to the 35, and he's got the first down. Again, Wilson with poise, saw the heat coming and got rid of it for an 18-yard gain.
This is really your 46 defense. I mean, you got the inside guys coming here. You got a middle linebacker coming. Everybody's coming on the blitz. But the first thing does is Wade Wilson is he reads it. And then Chris Port, number 70, the left guard, does a great job of keeping out the middle linebacker. And then Dalton Hilliard cuts his route short and comes clean for the reception. I mean, that's a well-executed audible off a 46 blitz.
106 yards passing for Wilson now, 7 of 12. Again, pressure in his face, got rid of it. Martin makes the catch, and Bubba McDowell had a hand on him. They'll mark the play at the 41. Again, it wasn't pretty, but Wade Wilson's getting the job done. That ball was kind of floating out there, but he got it there.
Well, it was tipped. Michael Barrow, number 51, I think, got his arm. I mean, that's a courageous and a terrific throw by Wade Wilson. I mean, he said, I have to stand in the pocket with poise, and if I do so and I take some hits, we're going to come up with some plays in the passing game. Well, he's done that this first half.
We should mention Ray Childress has checked back into the ball game, so fortunately that arm was not injured as severely as he initially thought. Second and 5. It looks like the blitz coming again. Al Smith. Wilson. Caught beautifully by Eric Martin. To the 30. There's a flag on the play as he's tackled from behind at the 28. Eric Martin is a joy to watch. Looks like there's no place for that ball to go, and he comes up with a catch.
You're right. I mean, he...
Offside, number 50, defense. That penalty is declined. First down.
You know, he gets open for like a nanosecond. But if you get the ball near him, he's strong. He's got very strong hands. He'll shield you away with his body, and then he'll make a catch. And then he won't fumble.
You'd still be playing the league if you had him playing with you, right?
That's right. Rarely, well, once in a while, I got it near the receiver.
He has 5 catches now for 88 yards, 31-yard gain to the 29.
I'll tell you one thing, the Oilers better start doubling up on him, on Eric Martin.
Here is Hilliard. Hilliard trying to bend it against the grain. Pretty good reaction that time. That was Steve Jackson, who is their nickel defensive back, coming up to make the stop on the play. And we're going to come to the 2-minute warning, as it'll be a 2nd down and 9 for the Saints, who have a 10-7 lead. They trailed early in the ball game, a big turnover, eventually led to a field goal, and they added a touchdown later. And that's where we are right now.
I was born
in a small town. That's where my customers
are. Every day, important business takes place in towns all across the country. And every day, we're a part of it. We're in hundreds of towns like Opelika, Walnut, Hope.
The Northwest Southeast is my territory.
Who would know better than Holiday Inn how to make your small town and big town meetings a big success?
Warm. Welcoming.
Just like the town I was born in.
Just like the town I was born in.
Holiday Inn. Stay with someone you know who really knows you.
Underneath every new Jimmy is the strength of a strong truck frame. An important advantage for towing, whether you're on-road or off-road. The GMC Jimmy. Drop in for a test drive.
You know, there should be a whole lot of road between you and your next set of tires. Uniroyal Tiger Paw radials. Sure-footed, mile after mile.
Here's a sport to try. Gillette Sensor has a sporty new look. Sensor Sport. Because it's not whether you win or lose. It's how you look playing the game.
Saints with a 10-7 lead, and stay with us for halftime. The Fruit of the Loom halftime report. Bob Neal, Kevin Kiley, Fran Tarkenton, their report on tonight's first half. And then Ernie Johnson in Atlanta will bring you all the highlights, interviews, and key plays from the opening week of the 1993 season.
You know, Fran really got this kind of run and shoot thing started. Really, they, you know, early on. I mean, Fran was throwing that ball virtually every down up there with the Vikings in that goal.
And he could scramble a little bit.
He could move around a little bit. He still can. I saw him before the game. Moving around all right.
2nd down, 9. We've just completed the 2-minute windup. Blitz coming. Wilson goes down. And there's a flag. There's got to be, because up the middle went Glenn Montgomery, but he was there prematurely. Here's the guy that's been their biggest surprise defensively from the University of Houston. Having to play, of course, because Lee Williams is out.
Offside. Defensive nose guard. 5 yards.
Glenn Montgomery right here gets a little bit anxious. You know, these defensive guys in this scheme for Buddy Ryan, it's in your face, it's penetrating kind of defense, but I tell you, they aren't watching the ball right now. I think it's the 4th time they've been offside.
Well, it's a 5th penalty against Houston in this ball game, and probably 4 of them have been offside.
And the way the New Orleans defense is playing is that now the Oiler defense has to turn it around. They can't allow Wade Wilson to get the ball into the end zone for a touchdown before halftime.
2nd down and 4 after the penalty. Wainwright in motion. Derek Brown straight ahead. Looks like he has the first down. He's at the 17-yard line. That was Montgomery made the stop. That was a beautiful fake that time by Wade Wilson. As they get the first down, as they now have 1:41. The Saints have 2 timeouts remaining.
Well, you know, half the teams in the National Football League opened the NFL season today with new quarterbacks, the Saints being one of those. Jim Morris said, I wasn't sure what I was going to get, but if the first half is any indication, he's got a pretty good player in Wade Wilson.
First down from the 18. Wilson going up top. Martin good defensive work that time by Steve Jackson, the former Purdue standout. Nothing there on that play. That'll stop the clock with 1:16 left to go.
Now, that really was good coverage by Steve Jackson, because every route that Eric Martin has caught has been over the middle, Gary. That time he fakes going down the middle, runs what's called a corner route, but Steve Jackson was not fooled and stays right there for the play.
Brings up 2nd down and 10.
Wade Wilson's thinking don't take a negative play, and the Oilers are thinking just out. Turnover, sack, fumble.
Wilson, this time to Floyd Turner, some pushing and shoving going on. There's no flag on the play. It's incomplete. Turner being covered by Darrell Lewis, who started his first game tonight, the former Arizona standout. 3rd down coming up.
Yeah, this was, he had him there by a step. You know, no other wide receiver has caught a pass. I think it was maybe offensive pass interference, actually, Gary, as Turner pushed off him. But no other receiver, wide receiver, other than Eric Martin, has caught a ball for New Orleans.
Turner coming back from that broken leg of a year ago where he missed 14 games. Coming back slowly, but starting to look like the Turner of old.
This is the most important 3rd down of the first half, right now.
Wilson scrambling, in trouble, and he'll be dropped back inside the 20-yard line by Eddie Robinson. 4th down coming up, and here comes Morton Anderson. So they are 2 of 5 on 3rd down conversions.
So what has to happen here, I mean, it's obviously, you know, Morton Anderson comes on, but if you're the Oilers, at least I think above a McDowell. Here's the all-20, the defensive coverage by the Oilers. And again, he's not going to take any chances. He knows he has a kicker, Morton Anderson. He knows how well his defense is playing. I mean, that's a quarterback that's played 13 years. No negative plays. So I'm just flipping it over. Think of Bubba McDowell for the Oilers. This is a guy that's blocked a lot of kicks and punts over the years.
Now, they've had a clock problem here. Wade Wilson came running on the field to the head linesman. He said, hey, the clock has continued to run, and they want to get that correct. It's 58 seconds right now, and Wilson running clear over to check things now with Bob McElwee. Morton Anderson has hit 21 field goals in a row. Now they're checking to see if that clock was in fact not right.
The thing about kickers, though, they're always over by themselves. You notice that they always on the bench. They're never around anybody. Oh, Morton Anderson, there's a huddle there. Morton Anderson's a good 15 yards away from anybody. I mean, even his holder, Barnhart, won't have anything to do with him.
I'll tell you what, if he kicks this field goal, though, they'll run over to him.
That's right.
Well, the discussion going on. Where are we on this clock, guys? We have 58 seconds left as of this moment.
You know who else has played well this first half? It's Jay Hilgenberg. I see him going over the huddle, number 62, filling in for his brother Joel.
Quite a family act, isn't it? Joel was an All-Pro last year. His brother 7 years in a row.
His dad was a center, I think, as well at Iowa.
Yeah, Jerry.
Only family I know that could play catch without looking at one another.
There must be some genes involved there somewhere, right?
Can you imagine? Let's go play some catch. Okay. You know, bend over there.
Well, our spotter, Tom Delnos, is a center. He's a kind of a strange guy, so I guess that goes along that route, huh?
Wow.
Well, we may not have this game going here for a while. We have quite a discussion. Bob's going to explain this to us as we have an apparent field goal attempt.
Please reset the game clock to 107, which is where the clock was when the quarterback was sacked. 107.
And that's the reason Wade Wilson went running back out on the field. He knew that clock should have been stopped, so they're going to add 9 seconds.
Well, I think he wants it to run, though. I think he was trying to argue that they should have kept it running, but on the sack, it stopped.
Anyway, it's 107, and Morton Anderson will come in.
I mean, there's always several defining moments in every football game and every season, obviously. And you know, the Houston Oilers right now have no momentum going. Other than the opening drive, they really haven't been able to put much together. Jack Pardee's team has to do something here. It can happen on offense, clearly, on defense, and on special teams. I mean, special team, block a field goal, make something happen.
That's that game we were talking about, those 6 field goals for the San Diego Chargers. They're off to a better start than they were a year ago when they started 0-4. I guess Boomer Esiason played well for the Jets. And what about... We weren't surprised, though, were we, by Joe Montana and how he played?
Looked like he had never missed the 2 years. Looked like he was played like he was 27 years old rather than 37.
Hostetler with a strong game, and the Raiders with a victory. And the Raiders will be meeting the Seahawks, and that's next Sunday here on TNT.
You know, Rick Meyer didn't have a bad day today for Seattle. Rick Meyer, I think, is going to be a star in the National Football League. Now, it may not happen this year, but this is a guy that over the years is going to be a great player because he's played the big-time program at Notre Dame. He's played under pressure, knows what it's like. He's got all the physical tools.
And it's always fun to watch Cortez Kennedy.
Yeah, boy.
Now they're saying it's 1:04, but, you know, it's an awfully long discussion here about the time clock.
Yeah, well, we spent at least 10:04 trying to figure this baby out.
Well, Pardee's pointing, and Moore is pointing at the
Please reset the game clock to 1:04.
Now I feel better.
I'm glad you do. So 3 seconds left. 3 seconds less in your life right now. They just took 3 seconds away from you.
Boy, I feel good. So it doesn't feel real good right now with Jack Pardee, though. I mean, this is a first half that got off to a very good start. I think the defense has not come up with the big negative plays that were anticipated. The offense had one good drive, and then the whole first half was turned around with Ricky Jackson's hustle. When Ricky Jackson forced the fumble, the momentum was changed.
This team had 50 sacks a year ago. Now we're going to have a timeout by Houston. Well, they'll have one remaining. They had 50 sacks last year, the Oilers did. They have put heat on Wade Wilson, but I'll give Wilson all the credit in the world. He has not rattled. He's been hanging in there very tough. Well, we think we're going to get the Fruit of the Loom halftime. We may never get there at this rate. Our trio down there, Mr. Neal and Kiley and Tarkenton, waiting patiently. There they are.
Neal and Tarkenton look like they could play. I'm not so sure about Kiley.
I don't know. I heard he was a mean dude. He was good at the blitz, I think.
He was. He looks like a blitz. He's got that neck going, and he's got the big coat. I mean, he's a determined guy, isn't he?
He sure is. I'll teach you guys to sit leisurely around.
They have the
look
coats
like you're
on.
working.
I like that, yeah.
Caught them unawares. I think we're going to get a field goal now, Pat.
God, I hope so.
1:04 left. 10-7, the Saints. Morton Anderson, who has kicked 21 straight field goals, will attempt a 37-yarder. Barnhart on the hold, and Morton Anderson waited long enough that he had the kind of poise that he's always had and nails it. 13-7, the Saints with the lead. That's one way of freezing your kicker, isn't it? Waiting that long to get your time thing straightened out.
Well, I'll tell you what, those Saints were very aware of where Bubba McDowell was. Okay, this is the guy who blocks. This is right in here is Bubba McDowell, number 25. This is the guy that blocks at least one punt or a kick or an extra point a year. And they said, hey, we're a little face mask on him, but the special teams coach, Joe Marciano of the Saints, said we're going to have at least one big body on Bubba McDowell. You can't zone block him on punts or kicks.
All fairness to him, he's playing with a bruised back. He was telling us last night he didn't know how effective he would be in the special teams.
Well, I agree with Buddy Ryan. I think he's one of the real strong, young, strong safeties in the league. I mean, this is a guy that can, he can certainly cover. He can play special teams for you. He can blitz now. He's got great timing. He's got to figure out a way in the second half, though, to get a little bit closer to Wade Wilson.
So 13 straight points now by the Saints has given them a 13-7 lead with 1:01 left in the first half. Houston has one timeout remaining when they get the football.
And plenty of time. 1:01 with Warren Moon's offense and arm and those four wide receivers. He has plenty of time.
Morton Anderson now with 22 in a row. Two more. And he'll tie the record of Kevin Butler. Barry Brown won't have a chance to bring bring this one out. And at the 20-yard line, Houston will set it up. 1:01 to go, first half. 1 timeout left.
Well, Bucky Richardson, third-team quarterback. He's a special teamer. And we got him. Where's that number 7? Looks like old Dan Pastor. He's pretending he's going to block somebody there for a while. Finally gets a helmet on somebody. But Warren Moon says he has a big future in the NFL, he thought, as a quarterback, not just a special team guy.
Well, that's the reason he made it as a special teams guy, because they didn't know that he could play the quarterback position. All 4 kickoffs by Morton Anderson have been touchbacks. That's a weapon.
Warren Moon needs to get this momentum turned around right now.
Moon to Curtis Duncan, and that starts to turn things around. There is a flag on the play. It's enough for the first down if it stands, a 13-yard pickup.
I tell you, they could have called Kevin Donnelly for holding. Not a problem. It's against Turnbull. This is one of those matchups we talked about. Yeah,
that's what it is,
yeah.
Pat. It's going to be holding against Houston.
Well, that's the thing. When you have a speed guy like Turnbull on the outside.
Number 57, offense.
He meant
10 yards,
77.
first down.
Yeah, there's no 57, so it's Donnelly as you suspected.
Yeah, but you got to push him away from the quarterback around him. If you get your arm locked in him, they're going to call you for the hold. But if you push him away, you have a chance.
In all fairness, he started only 2 games at left tackle last year. Last week, he was a starting right guard. They had Bruce Matthews out there. Then they had all kinds of problems, so they moved Matthews to center, Donnelly out to left tackle.
And the Saints have 2 timeouts. If they stuff them here, they're going to use some of their timeouts.
First and 20. Handoff to Lorenzo White, and White gets some of it back, about 10 yards of it, out to the 20-yard line. You see the time remaining. Sam Mills over to make the stop. Again, the Oilers with 1 timeout. Ricky Jackson, I think, was offside as he fires off the left linebacker spot, and that'll stop that play.
False start before the snap, number 73 offense.
Well, it was Frank Warren instead. Jackson went from the near side. And David Williams was the guy that moved, and that'll be 5 yards.
You don't blame these guys. David Williams is on the right, the left side of the screen. I mean, when you have a big old pass rusher, fast pass rusher like Ricky Jackson, who's lined up 4 yards outside you get anxious.
Yep.
I mean, you always criticize for getting your quarterback sacked. You're thinking about protecting him.
Well, he's such a bull-like rusher, a power rusher. You've got to set up for him, and Williams moved prematurely. 2nd and 13. Moon to Slaughter. He got it. Webster Slaughter with people coming from all 3 angles. Topped that, a 41-yard gain to the 41 of New Orleans.
You know, Toy Cook was saying you can't go to this is an absolutely perfect throw, and it's on a line. But Toy Cook was saying that the defensive back for New Orleans yesterday, when Warren Moon rolls away from you as he did there, you can't go to sleep. I mean, because he's got a big enough arm to roll away from you and still throw a deep pass all the way down the other side of the field, and that's exactly what happened. He got the free safety, Gene Atkins, out of the play by the roll to the left. He comes back and throws it to his right.
41-yard gain. The Oilers use their final timeout. They're going to mark the ball just inside the 42.
Now Del Greco, their kicker, got a career-long 54-yarder. And all that would mean they'd have to get to the 37-yard line to give him a chance. But I think they're still thinking touchdown here.
You know, he kicked a 55-yarder in the preseason. But as you mentioned, his career long in the regular season, 54 yards.
And that was a heck of a throw and a roll by Warren Moon. Gets the free safety out of the way. See, he rolls to his left. Free safety has to roll that way. Then he comes back to the right. And the free safety, 28, gets there late.
22 seconds left in the half. Warren Moon, a flag on the play. Moon to Gibbons. Intercepted by Toy Cook. To the 45 and tackled But again, we have penalty flags.
See, I think Warren Moon felt he had a free play there.
Cook was 6 interceptions last year. Let's see if this one stands.
Yeah, I think Moon felt he had a free play and was going to take a chance.
Well, that's right.
Yeah.
It was offside against New Orleans.
You know, Warren Moon, I mean, he does not throw many interceptions. 46 career games without an interception.
Offside, number 57, defense. 5 yards, first down.
And it stops the clock with 12 seconds left. Again, Houston, no timeouts as they'll step off this 5-yard penalty, taking it inside the 40-yard line.
Yeah, just what Kevin Gilbride was saying, throw the ball away or outside to an outside receiver. You got no timeouts remaining. Now, again, he's right in Del Greco's, career range.
Yeah. Like to get to the 30 where you'd have a 47-yard field goal and make it a little more reasonable.
Here's where you have to jam the outside receivers. Don't give a cheap pass to the outside. Too much cushion up top there.
1st and 5 now for Houston. There's that 30-yard line area, and it's at the 31. Actually, we're given steps out of bounds to stop the clock with 6.
That's bad defense, though, Gary. I mean, when Houston has no timeouts, you have to press those outside receivers and don't give them an easy throw there. I mean, they know they didn't have a timeout, but you see all the big cushion right here? These guys have to be up in their face and don't give an easy one. I mean, they just made it a much easier field goal for Al Del Greco.
What they're doing to measure, see if he got the first down, it's really academic, Bill, because it'll be 2nd down coming up inches as Del Greco now will come in and attempt this one.
Does have a new holder.
Yes, he does. Bucky Richardson. In fact, the stat they were given this week, Del Greco, in his 10 years in the league, has had 13 different holders.
Yep. You know, and every time a kicker misses a field goal that I've seen, they always blame it on the holder. I held for a guy one time, and he never missed a field goal. It was always my fault.
Probably was.
Terrible job.
This is going to be a 50-yard attempt. They're right on top of the 40. Thrown something on the field. They're going to stop it because a stream of toilet paper and then a timeout call. They're going to try to freeze Del Greco as the Saints use the timeout. They have one remaining, but they had a streamer flying through the air back at the 10-yard line.
You know, I'm not so much so sure it's so much freezing the kickers anymore. It's actually looking at the alignment of the protection. I mean, if you're thinking about a block, and Joe Marciano, the special teams coach for the Saints, if you're thinking about a block, you look at the protection and then you design it. Now again, here's another kicker all by himself. He's there at the 50. Ball's up at the 30.
Del Greco in the preseason was 6 of 7. We mentioned the 55-yarder. Outstanding golfer. He's a scratch golfer, one of the best probably of any NFL player. And he says he uses some of the same leverages, same angles in golf that he does in his kicking.
Hey, this will be a huge momentum lifter for the Oilers if they can get 3 more points on the board before halftime. I mean, this is a team that has floundered other than their first drive of the half and now their last drive of the half.
So after the timeout, we still have 6 seconds and a 50-yard attempt. Greco's kick is up, and this kick is no good. And that brings us to the end of this first half. So the momentum that Pat was talking about for the Oilers does not materialize. Fruit of the Loom halftime coming up. Stay with us as the Saints, after trailing 7-0, 13 unanswered points to a 13-7 halfway mark lead.
Roger, I think it's time.
The baby?
Uh-huh.
Now?
Oh, yeah, but first we got to stop by the Great Rate Labor Day sale at Ken Garff.
What?
They've got 4.9% fixed financing.
Judy, you're not going to Ken Garff now.
Oh, but honey, this is our last chance to get a great deal on a 93 car truck at 4.9%.
Well, what about the baby?
Oh, you're right, dear. You'll make such a great dad.
Ah, thanks, honey.
Hey, there's a Ken Garff dealership right by the hospital. Maybe we could just swing by.
Honey?
McDonald's, huh?
Yeah.
Smells good.
Thanks. If this ride were any longer, you'd have to fight for those fries.
We're stuck.
My, what an impressive display of casual sportswear. Did they pay?
The Fruit of the Loom Halftime Report is brought to you by Fruit of the Loom, clothes for the best of your life.
Well, the run-and-shoot offense of Houston has kind of run and misfired thus far, as the Saints have a 13-7 lead here at the first half. Warren Moon, 182 yards, 15 of 21 in the battle of the quarterbacks. And Wade Wilson, not bad, 9 of 16 for 142. We're going to come back with Fran and Kevin in a moment and talk about this first half and have their particular slants on what happened here in New Orleans. But right now, let's go to Ernie Johnson Jr. in Atlanta, who is going to be talking about what I think was a very wild finish between the Dolphins and the Colts.
Bob, you are exactly right. You want some big-time Week 1 drama, folks. You got it with the Colts and the Finns. It was a 20-17 game. Colts lead at the Hoosier Dome in front of the home folks. That's when Dan Marino went to work.
All the blockers set in tight up front. Third down and a foot. Marino play fakes it. Throws in the end zone. Caught for a touchdown to Greg Beatty. Yes! 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 Yes!
Yes, indeed. With 35 seconds left, that is the game winner. Miami wins it 24-20. Yet another fourth-quarter comeback engineered by Dan Marino. The Giants won a thriller at Chicago as Phil Simms hit Jared Bunch with about a minute to play. Giants win it 26-20. Joe Montana, 14 out of 21, 246 yards, 3 touches, 27-3 Kansas City over Tampa Bay. And Chris Chandler re-injured his left ankle. X-rays were negative. Phoenix lost to Philadelphia 23-17. Now, when the Denver Broncos played the New York Jets today, Boomer Esiason had a big day for the Jets. He had 371 yards passing. John Elway, 20 out of 29 through the air. But the guy everybody was talking about was Denver's rookie, Glenn Milburn.
Out. Here's Elway going back to blitz. Quick pass. Milburn's got it across the 20. He puts another move on at the 15. 10, 5. Touchdown, Glenn Milburn.
Oh, man. Come on with this. Are you kidding me? Good Googa Mooga. He left 3 or 4 Jets. Googa Mooga.
Where's that?
That's what you got to say when you see something like that.
Well, if you insist. Good Googa Mooga, 26-20. The Broncos win at 113 combined yards for Glenn Milburn, the second-round pick out of Stanford. San Diego got 6 field goals from John Carney. He's hit 22 straight, as has Morton Anderson now, beating Seattle 18-12. Buffalo, 4 touchdown passes from Jim Kelly. Drew Bledsoe threw for a couple. Buffalo over New England 38-14. Cleveland 27-14 over Cincinnati in the Battle of Ohio. David Klingler was sacked 6 times. When the Rams and the Packers played today at County Stadium in Milwaukee, everything went the Packers' way. For evidence, take a look at this.
And here is Brett Favre straight back in the pocket, and he slipped as he tried to set up. Now he's on the run. Now he's throwing downfield to Sterling Sharp. Sharp trying to get in position, and he got it. Touchdown. Sterling Sharp took it away from 2 defenders. All Favre did was put it up in the air, and Sterling Sharp down at the goal line on the alley-oop outfought 2 defenders for the ball.
It's Green Bay in a romp, 36-6 over the L.A. Rams. San Francisco beat Pittsburgh 24-13. Steve Young, 24 out of 36 with 3 touchdowns and 3 interceptions. Detroit, 6 sacks of Chris Miller. They beat the Falcons 30-13. Barry Sanders had 90 yards on the ground. And the Raiders, how about this, folks? Jeff Hostetler only missed 4 passes, 23 out of 27. The Raiders beat the Vikings 24-7. And here on TNT tonight, the New Orleans Saints at the half with a 13-7 lead over the Houston Oilers. We'll send you back to the Superdome as the Fruit of the Loom halftime report continues after this.
children well.
Hey, buddy. You gonna do it alone this time?
Did slowly go by. Don't you ever ask them
When the time comes for a man to choose his own brand of underwear, more men choose Fruit of the Loom than any other brand. The reason is simple. Comfort. Because that's what real men want. Fruit of the Loom. Clothes for the best of your life.
The passion isn't only on the field. Players aren't the only ones who feel it. I can feel the passion from the fans in the last row. I know when they fear defeat. I know when they sense victory. If you live it, if you love it, get real.
Logo Athletic, authentic team apparel.